Welcome back. My name remains Adedotun Bakare, and I'll be speaking on genetically modified food, security, and safety. What are genetically modified organisms? So, GMO, in short, are produced by altering genetical material of plants or animals, and these has been found to be useful and helpful in production of different crops such as corn, soya beans, tomatoes, salmon. How are GMOs created? So there's something called genetical engineering transfers or edits of DNA to achieve desired traits. That's transfer of a particular strain of gene into another to modify it so it can give another result, a better result. Techniques include transgenic modification, CRISPR, and gene splicing. Common GMO crops include cotton, golden rice, drought-tolerant maize. GMO food safety, so rigorous testing for allergens, toxins, and health impacts. It is also important to note that regulatory bodies such as FDA, World Health Organization, EFSA, and national agencies BT crops has over 20 years of use with no significant health risk. This is to say that the regulatory bodies would have done clinical trials, different researches that has proven over time to pose little or no significant health risk. Health impacts of GMO foods. The benefits include enhanced nutrition, that's golden rice. Example is golden rice. Then reduced pesticide exposure because this has been modified such that the pest cannot penetrate or deteriorate such food. Risk, that's allergic reactions, gene flow to non-GMO species. Then we have consensus, meaning GMOs are safe when properly regulated. Environmental impacts of GMOs. Example of the environmental impact is risk to biodiversity from gene transfer. Like I said earlier, it involves genetic engineering, gene splicing, so it can alter the biodiversity of a particular organism, of a particular plant or animal. Then we have reduced pesticide, herbicide use, which can actually benefit ecosystems. We all know that in the process of spraying or applying pesticide, herbicides, some organisms are altered, some are extincted, some are dead. So with the use of genetically modified organisms food, there's reduced pesticide use. The challenges include herbicide resistant weeds. There are some plants that are actually resistant to 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 herbicide resistant weeds, then resistant pests. GMO food security. I earlier stated that it helps in increased food supply, especially in harsh environments. The drought resistant maize in Africa has proven over time that GMO is very, very beneficial. Then it helps combat hunger and nutrition and malnutrition through biofortified crops. What does this mean? This is to say that in the process of um, modifying the particular gene of this crop of this animal, it makes it resistant to, of course, some drought. For example, that's drought resistant means such that it cannot be washed away. It is going to be resistant. Then, because there is increase in yield of crop agricultural produce, there will be reduction in malnutrition to the particular environment. Then we have ethical and social controversies. Public opinion varies widely by region, by people. We saw that played earlier. Ethical concerns, patients, corporate control, and moral issues. Some people believe that GMO foods are not safe. Some people believe it is not morally upright to consume such. So these are controversies that surround GMO foods. The labeling debates continue around consumer rights. We have global perspectives on GMO regulation. We have the USA, of course, there is wide acceptance and cultivation. We have the European Union, there are strict regulations and bans. Africa, so in Africa, Nigeria, for example, there is mixed adoption, there's cautious regulatory environment, and this affects international trade dynamics. In the USA, for example, it is widely accepted. Some people don't accept it in Africa because of what they feel it has got to do, the benefits and the detrimental effects. So there is going to be a strain on the international trade because if I'm going to be importing my my stuffs, my food, my proceeds from America to a place where it is not widely accepted, there will be a strain on the trade. In conclusion, and realistically, GMO offers food security, it offers safety, and it offers sustainability benefits. The risks include environmental and ethical concerns. Different community, different countries have different ethical concerns, and balanced regulation, education, researches are key. And that was why I said earlier that we should ensure we have our facts and figures regarding the importance and economic value of GMOs. It has helped in agricultural productivity. It has helped. Now we have different strains of different organisms, products that are actually beneficial to us. So let us actually make researches. Let us be well informed on why has to consume this, why has to not consume this, and what are the benefits, what are the public health concerns. So far, it has not proven a detrimental effect. When I say detrimental effect, there are still researches and studies that are ongoing, but there has not been a particular case that has been linked to GMO causing this particular health concern. On that note, I also want us to study more on that. You know, if there are issues, if there are concerns, we can always bring that up and refer them to the regulated bodies or authorities. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Nice one.
Yes, sir.
I'm even more impressed with the focus on the ethical consideration, which is my concern actually
Yes, sir.
as an African. You see, this issue of trust matters.
Mm.
For some of us Africans, there's this belief that the West and their imperialist position
Yes, sir.
is often out to harm us.
Mm.
Sometimes you hear stories like, "Oh, they've this GMO thing is a way of depopulating Africans."
Mm.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
Or a way of sterilizing us.
Mm.
So it has made some of us skeptical about GMOs.
Mm.
Uh, but you see, and there's this imperialistic view of the West too, of seeing African continent as a dumping ground for some junks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why some of us are suspicious of this GMO. We just hope it's not part of their game plan to further depopulate Africa, reduce Africa to that oppressive
Yes, sir.
background. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Well, if some of you believe, or some of us believe it is safe,
Mm.
well, no problem. If only our regulatory agencies are sincere,
Yeah.
but we know our country.
Mm.
Mm. So
Everything can be bypassed.
I just hope you don't get better ethically.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, let me add to the very interesting topic for discussion, and we all need to know, being they know about the developments in genetic modification of food, not just before we are talking about genetically modified humans.
Yes, sir.
Now we're talking about genetically modified food organisms.
Yes, sir. Plants and animals.
When you look at this issue, first of all, we're talking about the issue of food sufficiency, food security.
Mm.
No. It goes with the issue of food safety. The food we want to have abundance of it. Is it safe for consumption?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why people raise ethical issues about genetically modified food. When you alter the genetic makeup, people are afraid that it might also have negative impact on humans and animals that consume this food. Then when you look at the environment, so I don't have facts
Mm.
or I can't rationally argue this. There is conspiracy theories that are flying about that when you plant genetically modified crops, one, they destroy fertility of the soil, and they also affect soil microorganisms.
Very balanced.
So you need to continue planting that genetically modified. And when you plant it this time, you cannot continue planting. Every year as a farmer, you need to go and procure those ones. When you plant the normal organic crops, they may not grow well.
Yeah.
So those are the things we need to look into. We draw research attention to. Does it harm the soil? The humans that eat it, does it have are there health risks or hazards when we consume genetically modified food? But when you go to big malls in America and Bible, they will say non-GMO,
Yes, sir.
meaning that there may be issues,
Yes, sir.
non-GMO, non-GMO. But when those stores are packaged and brought to Africa, we don't even know which one because they can be rebagged or repackaged.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't that GMO mark or whatever or
Will
non-GMO
be
may no
removed.
longer be there.
Yes.
Look at when you look at our local chicken, for example, and people say that one has more medicine, is more organic.
Mm.
When you look compare with this broiler, all this one that within 3 months or 2 months, they are big, they are due, ready for consumption. And see the local chicken, how that stay up to year, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
They feed
And
normally,
healthy.
they feed in organic stuff. And this one use booster feed with little time. And these even layers,
Mm.
the ones that lay egg. The chemicals used to boost their growth
Mm-hmm.
or enhance egg laying
Mm.
may also be in the egg. So
Sure.
when you consume the egg, I
Directly
also suspect there will be possibility of transferring that
consume.
to the egg, which is may not be good for human consumption, but it was used to grow the chicken, the layers,
Mm-hmm.
and then we eating them as egg. But I think there are regulations that when the layers want to start laying,
Mm-hmm.
so which that time we don't give them that layers
Good.
like that stuff that
Yeah.
makes them to lay egg. Even the booster feed,
Mm.
when your brothers are
Very
getting ready for uh,
missing.
to be pushed to the market, you
Yes.
don't give them those boosters. But when you give them, those ones will be in their body and people will eat them. But says some people can feed them with that in the morning and the chicken is killed in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
So you are even taking that booster into your own body. So we're talking
Same.
about safety of food, not only talking about food sufficiency, also safety of food. Because whatever we do, the world has no meaning outside humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So humans are the meaning makers. So when we bring this food and it becomes harmful to the people that will consume it, or even animals or the entire ecosystem, then it makes no meaning, it makes no sense. When we bring genetically modified crops and plants, and there's allegation that they can kill soil microorganisms, it's also obstructing the issue of biodiversity conservation. So we need to engage specialists in this area, crop
Scientists.
production or agriculturalists.
Mm.
We need to engage them, then engage ethicists,
Mm-hmm.
bioethicists into the discussion. So we have a more robust understanding and approach to setting ethical standard for our food procurement, so that whatever food is coming out, the safety of the consumers will
It's
be paramount.
guaranteed.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, on that note, it has been established that to a large extent, genetically modified organisms, crops, animals has helped to increase the crop yield, has helped to produce drought resistant kind of products. Though there are concerns, toxicity level, is there going to be transfer of gene from the animal consumed or from the plant consumed? How does it affect us? How does it affect the soil? What is the fate of an average person consuming genetically modified food and animals? Would like us to also keep researching. Let us know your feedbacks. Let us have an interactive and educative, continuous learning. We should learn and relearn. This is not to undermine that. It has helped to yield a lot of productivity, which has helped to curb malnutrition and hunger in the land. On that note, thank you for listening. Bye.